What we're going to look at today is one of my most used extensions, the Google URL Shortener. And so you could in the past, if you have the long URL like this, you could go to goo.gl and paste the URL and it would shorten it for you. All of this requires more clicks, and there's a shorter or faster way to do this. The Google URL Shortener, to find it, just go to google.com and search for Google URL Shortener extension. And you could go to the Chrome Web Store and search for it, but to be honest, this is much easier. Notice there's two that show up. I would use the one that has more votes. All right, and when you look at this icon, it kind of reminds me of WinZip. It's going to be a green cube inside of a vice, so it's compressing that URL. I'm going to add this to Chrome. All right, I'm going to drag this extension all the way over to the left here. And basically, whatever web page you're looking at, if you click on this extension, it will shorten it for you. And not only that, but it will put it in your clipboard. So if I opened up a new tab, I don't actually have to hit copy here. If I open up a new tab and hit paste, Control V, you'll see that same exact shortened URL. Now, the problem I run into is when I shorten this URL, it keeps giving me the same shortened URL, and kids have a tough time, and so do adults, with zeros and O's and ones and L's and I's. So how do we generate a different shortened URL for the same web page? And what you can do is see where it says not added to history. If I click on that, and if I grant access here where it says Google URL Shortener access, grant access, and a dialog box will come up to say yes, allow. All right, so now that I've granted access, look what happens if I click on the URL shortener. Every time I click on it, it changes. So now I can kind of work this to get a shortened URL that's maybe easier for kids to use. All right, one other feature I like is the QR code. I can take a QR code and I can right click on this and I can copy the image, or I can simply just drag it onto the document I'm working on. All right, so we have QR code option. The third thing I like about the shortener is if I right click and go to options, this is where you'll see the grant and revoke access, but you'll also see services. And here's a list of services that'll connect to the URL shortener. I'm going to connect Twitter and I'm going to connect Gmail. All right. And so now let me go to this math fluency worksheet. If I wanted to tweet out this web page, I click the URL shortener and I can hit Twitter. And now it takes the web page title, all right, and then throws in the shortened URL, and you can tweet it out. All right, you could add some more stuff there as well if you want. If I wanted to email this web page, I connected my Gmail. This will pop up a message to compose an email with the title as the subject and then the shortened URL. All right, so that's how I use the Google URL Shortener. All right, it was one of my favorite extensions, like I said.